everybody. Welcome back to Career Bits. I am so glad to have you guys here. I am joined with two of my friends from Study Abroad, and before I let them introduce themselves, remember that experiential education is more than just internships and co-ops, and there are so many different ways to get experience while you're here in college. And I'm going to tell you that this whole understanding of globalism, this whole idea of global education and understanding from different perspectives is a huge thing that employers constantly are talking about. And that's why I have my two friends here. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves and we're going to kick off this podcast.
All right. Hi, everyone. I am Beth Lorenz. I am the Assistant Director in the Office of Education Abroad. And I have been working at UNC Charlotte for about 7 years in the field of education abroad for about 10 plus.
Cool.
All right, and good afternoon, everyone. I am Brad Sekulich. I am the Director of the Office of Education Abroad. I've been at UNC Charlotte since 2002, and I've been in the field for about 25 years now. It is not only my vocation, but it is a passion. It's something I did. Beth has done it more times than most people, and it's one of the most important things either one of us have ever done in our lives, not just because we work in the field, but because it's such a great experience.
And I have to be honest, when I was in college many, many years ago, when I had long flowing hair, I never did a study abroad and never even heard of it. So what is education abroad, study abroad? What is that concept and why do we have it?
Well, I'm going to let Beth talk a little bit more about the details of it, but at the large level, it's really taking your education to another place. It's leaving the campus of UNC Charlotte, stepping into another culture, going to another country, and augmenting that education that you get here with what you can learn from other people. The world is a great big place. We all do the basic same things, but we do it differently. And when you get to go out and see how other people do it, that's education abroad. We do it in an academic setting. We are part of academic affairs, but it's a lot bigger than that. And we are always trying to get you out there to understand how other people go about life. Yeah,
and I always tell students, at least when I'm presenting, that whatever idea you think you have about study abroad, it is so much more than that. My favorite phrase is it's not a one-size-fits-all t-shirt. So what works for one student does not mean that's going to work for you. So if you're new to travel or the idea of study abroad, we have group situations and short opportunities that ease you into that. For example, we do faculty-led programs where UNC Charlotte faculty are leading students abroad to another country or location. And that's a great way, it's a nice supportive way to study abroad. And that ranges all the way up to semesters and years, which are probably our most independent, where you might be the only UNC Charlotte student going to a particular location. It's research abroad, it's internships abroad, it is service learning abroad. We've had athletic groups go abroad. We've had students go to conferences. We've had music groups go abroad. So all of those, whether they were related to credit or not, are educational international experiences. So I always tell students, if you're nervous about this, do your research because there is probably a program that is designed to fit your comfort level.
And I imagine, and I'm so glad you talked about what do I experience, like what is it like to be over there, and this idea that it doesn't have to be a year long or there's varying time frames, if you will, or extended stays or whatever you want to call it, that they can be a part of. That fits their calendar and that fits their needs. So how would a student get involved? Like if they're, I'm sure there's students listening to us right now that's like, I want to do that. Like what the heck do they do next?
Beth?
I can probably take that one. So the first thing you want to do is our office wants to make sure everybody has a basic understanding of what study abroad is at UNC Charlotte. Because again, if you have friends at let's say Chapel Hill or NC State, the process will be different and the offerings we have will be different. So we created a Canvas course. It's not for credit. So students can do it at their own time in their own pace. And it's called Study Abroad 101. And there is a button on our main page that says Study Abroad 101 so they can get started. They do have to create an account in our portal, and that's how they self-enroll in the course. And it basically explains all the basics they need to know, from what are the differences between programs, where can I go, how does financial aid work, how do I get my courses approved, and just everything that they would want to know. Once they have completed that course, they're then eligible for one of two things. Certain programs, they can go right ahead and apply, like faculty-led. They know exactly what program they want to do. They can go ahead and start enrolling. Some programs require a conversation because we want to make sure you understand costs and program design, and especially those longer programs. So you would have to meet with an advisor. And then after you meet with a study abroad advisor, we would open an application to you. The only thing I do want to make clear, though, is we're not academic advisors. So a lot of students come to us and say, where can I go? And what can I do? And it's sort of like, you can pretty much do anything. And what I can't help you with is because I'm not an academic advisor, I can't look at your course list and go, oh, this is going to be the perfect program for you. So I need you to have an understanding of where am I in my degree at UNC Charlotte so that I know what my needs are. Because again, I can send 2 students to Kingston, but they could be entirely, it's in London, but they get entirely different majors, entirely different course tracks. And so one student might be doing something completely different than the other student. So you have to come to me and tell me where you're at and your understanding of your requirements. But we can always provide suggestions and we can always guide you through the process. That's where we come in. And
so you're not a travel
agent. You feel comfortable.
You're not a travel agent. What you're all about
Yes.
is the students do an introspection of what do they want to get out of it, and then you all have a lot of great experience, obviously, but knowledge and that consulting mindset to help them fit something that works for what they're trying to do with their career and their lives, right?
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And I think at this point, it's really important to stress, if you want to do it, talk to us about it. Don't say no till someone tells you no. Don't assume you can't do it. We're pretty open, and we work with a lot of students. We've sent people all over the globe, and UNC Charlotte has a system in place to help you make things happen. And we're here to help you put that into your academic experience. It's a great big world, and we go to most of it.
And I love that. Now, there's a giant digital elephant in the room, and it's this thing called COVID and study abroad. Help us understand. I know what's going on right now. We're kind of in a weird situation, but give me your magic ball, if you will. What do you think is going to happen next year with study abroad, and even beyond that, of course? Some of the cool things coming down.
In the little bit longer term, study abroad is going to come back, and it's going to be stronger than ever. People want to go abroad, and what we have found a year ago, if you talked to faculty or staff or administrators about virtual learning and enhancing things with virtual capabilities, that was a low level conversation. There wasn't a lot of talk about that. We are finding ways now to not just do virtual learning, but to augment what we're going to do with physical study abroad with virtual learning and global learning and international learning and research. And we've got huge ideas about what we're going to do. We know students want to go abroad. And as soon as this vaccine takes hold and we start to bring the numbers down, people are going to go abroad again. And in a year or two, we're going to be back to where we were.
I know it, and we all know it. Now, bringing this kind of to an end, I know both of our offices, we're going to be partnering even more, in more depth than what we already do around the pre and post and helping students not just get ready career-wise for, and of course, logistically to go overseas, but when they come back, how do you integrate it into your career? Because the three of us, we always talk about this idea that this is important, what employers want. Now you need to explain it to employers. And oh, by the way, look at these cool skills and competencies you're getting from that experience. So students, there's a lot of opportunity here. Brad and Beth, am I leaving anything that on the table that you'd like to say, or anything additional?
Well, I think your skills will be in demand. The things you learn from study abroad are going to make you more employable, period. Research shows that. You can't just tell someone you studied abroad, though. We're going to work with you when you get back to figure out how to translate that into the skills employers are looking for. But research tells us that they are looking exactly for what study abroad will give you. And it's going to be your clone who doesn't go abroad and you applying for a job, you're going to get it because that's what they're looking for.
Perfect.
And I would just add that to encourage you to consider study abroad is that I was just reading a report, that your degree prepares you, maybe technically for your job. But a lot of times it's those things that you do outside of your majors or the coursework you do on campus that actually gets you the job. And I think that's why I'm such an advocate for study abroad, is that it can mature you into the person that you need to be employable. And, with all this research coming out that the students who study abroad, the skills that they gain, the type of careers they get, the leadership roles they move into, there's a reason. And it's, finding that comfort and the discomfort and learning about the person that you become that makes you so highly employable. So I would hope that we understand that it might be difficult to think about a study abroad experience, but understanding why it's so important, I think you probably might want to fit this into your degree somehow.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
Well, again, it's all about getting experience, and there are more ways than just getting an internship and co-op that you can get experience to add to your resume to take you in many different ways. Brad, Beth, thank you for joining us on Career Bits. This has been amazing. You guys are fantastic.
Thank you, Patrick. We appreciate it.
Thank you.